In this video, we'll see how to do simple calculations with moles. First of all, we'll see what's the formula to find the number of moles. Also, we'll see how we can rearrange this formula so that we can obtain whatever we want. So this is the formula that we can rearrange to obtain whatever we want, either the mass, the number of moles, or the mass of 1 mole. So the main formula is number of moles equals to the mass in grams divided by the mass of 1 mole in grams. Usually the mass of 1 mole is the same as the relative formula mass, which we saw earlier, where we find it and put grams next to the answer. So mass of 1 mole equals to the relative formula mass in grams. So this is the main formula to find the number of moles. Now if they want us to find the mass, how can we rearrange this formula in a way to find the mass of 1 mole? Well, let's use the triangle way. It's called the basic triangle. We will distribute the number of moles, mass, and mass of 1 mole on this triangle in this way. At the apex, we have the mass. At the left, we have the number of moles. And at the right, we have the mass of 1 mole. This triangle should be memorized very well because it's very important and will help us a lot. The number of moles will give the mass divided by the mass of 1 mole. Now we are asked to calculate the mass. So how do we find the mass if we don't have a rule for the mass? Look what we will do. We will hide the mass, and now we are left with the number of moles and mass of 1 mole. We will put times between them. So now mass equals number of moles times mass of 1 mole. This figure is found in our books. So we hide the mass and we're left with the number of moles multiplied by the mass of 1 mole. So the formula is mass in grams equals number of moles times mass of 1 mole. So from the main formula, we obtained another formula to find the mass. Now they might ask us to find the number of moles. Similarly, we draw the triangle and distribute the mass and the mass of 1 mole in their places. As you can see here, we want the number of moles, so we will hide it. Now I'm left with the mass and the mass of 1 mole. Between them, I will put a big dash. In that way, so the number of moles equals to the mass over the mass of 1 mole. This is the figure found in our books. Number of moles equals to the mass in grams divided by the mass of 1 mole in grams. So as you can see, we obtained another formula on how to find the number of moles. Now, how to obtain the mass of 1 mole? Also, I draw the basic triangle and put the number of moles and mass in the right place. And now, I hide the mass of 1 mole. And I'm left with the mass and the number of moles. And as we did before, I'll put a dash between them. So the mass of 1 mole equals to the mass divided by number of moles. This figure is found in our books. Mass of 1 mole equals to mass in grams divided by number of moles. So in this way, I obtained 3 rules using the basic triangle. I rearranged the basic formula so that I can get the mass, the number of moles, and the mass of 1 mole.